Since 2020, we have only seen 2 coasters, Busch Gardens Tampa's Iron Gwazi and Hershey Park's Wildcat, get the RMC treatment. And with no rumors in sight regarding any other older wooden coaster getting the RMC treatment, I'm not gonna lie, it has me a little bit nervous as to why. What is going on with RMC? And is there something up with the company and this coaster model that we might not know about? Because here's some staggering data. From 2015 through 2019, we saw 10 wooden coasters get converted into RMC hybrids. 10 in a short 5-year span. And these 10 rickety old wooden coasters became arguably the best ones in the park thanks to RMC. However, since the year 2020, we've only seen 2 coasters in the entire world get converted to an RMC. Now that's quite the drop off. 10 all the way to 2 between a 10-year period of time. That's crazy. So again, what is going on with RMC? Now we all know that Cedar Fair doesn't really like to work with RMC because both companies have kind of butted heads regarding their 3 coasters that debuted at the Cedar Fair parks in 2018. So that tells me, is it a Cedar Fair thing in this situation or an RMC thing? Because maybe it's both, maybe it's more RMC. I mean, we really don't know this. However, it is kind of interesting how all of a sudden we don't really have that many RMC coasters being built at all. Right now we have one opening in 2024, and that is Silver Dollar City's brand new Fire in the Hole. That's the only RMC coaster opening in 2024. Let that sink in for a second. That is, again, that's really kind of shocking considering RMC's the hottest name in the coaster market as far as the manufacturers go. And you have all these top 10, top 20 lists filled with RMCs. But again, does it have to do with maybe the reliability? Because we do know that when you do have an RMC, reliability isn't going to be top notch as if it would be for a B&M or possibly Mock Rides ride. So maybe parks are starting to catch on with RMC and how their rides have a lot of downtime, a lot of mechanical issues. And it would not surprise me at all if there's a lot of upkeep as far as higher maintenance costs goes for these type of rides. I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons with it. And the one last factor is, could it be the cost? And really, RMC hybrids, and any RMC really for that matter, they're not crazy expensive. So I don't think the cost has anything to do with it, which is just, again, it kind of has my head spinning as to what is really going on, because if you look at the data and the facts and the history, the timeline of every new coaster that RMC has built since they first came into the coaster game with the brand new Texas Giant, it is kind of questionable as to what's going on. And it's not the lack of inventory, because I could think of like 7 or 8 wooden coasters all across the world right now that could desperately use RMC's help and transforming them into the best coaster in the park. And those parks too could desperately use some attention in a brand new major coaster. So for example, Roar at Six Flags America. What's going on there? Because that's the perfect candidate for a brand new RMC hybrid coaster, because Six Flags America desperately needs a new coaster, as we know. And with the brand new area that's opening up this summer that runs just along, basically next to the coaster, it would not surprise me at all if RMC is called and Roar does get converted to an RMC hybrid coaster come 2025. Now again, I know that's pretty much a bold prediction, but I really feel like Six Flags America is going to be getting a brand new coaster coming 2025, 2026 at the latest. And we have to go to St. Louis for Six Flags St. Louis, because Boss is just sitting there and it's still rough. They don't really have the best trains on it, and the park has done a lot of work on the ride over the last 10 years, and it's still pretty bad. So if RMC was given the green light for this, I guarantee you that Boss, if done right, and if the budget was there, and I think it would be for this project, that Boss could be easily a top 10 coaster in the entire world. if they wanted to spend the money on it. So hopefully that does happen. Maybe in the next couple years, we will see. And another ride that most people probably don't know too much about is Coaster Express, located in Spain's Parque Warner Madrid. And this ride has a really good looking layout, as you can see here. But one problem, the ride kind of sucks, which is pretty much typical for any coaster before getting turned into an RMC hybrid coaster. Now, what about Hurler at Carowinds? Because I'm going to bring it up, because I know someone's going to bring it up in the comments. Again, as of now, Carowinds as my home park, that ride is still busy. There's still a line usually, and they're spending a ton of money on it this off-season, rebuilding a lot of the ride. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, and unfortunately, RMC is not going to get called on Hurler for right now, maybe come 5 years from now, but not anytime soon. And then American Eagle at Six Flags Great America. Now, I don't know about you, but I would totally support this thing being converted into a hyper hybrid coaster, allowing just one circuit, one track, remove the dueling aspect or the racing aspect, and just making this thing just an insane hybrid coaster that's over 200 feet tall. I think with that layout and what RMC could do, it could again be a top 10 coaster. I know a lot of people might hate me for that because it's a classic for the park and you have Goliath right next door, but that doesn't stop parks from doing things like this. We've seen it from time to time. I mean, look at Six Flags. They've added multiple parks with the same style of coaster. They just added a new one, La Ronde. You had the B&M inverted coaster. Then 5 or 6, 7 years later, they added the Vekoma inverted SLC coaster. So that argument, unfortunately, not to be rude, it's out the window. Then we have Timberwolf, Worlds of Fun, Dark Horse. I like Timberwolf. I enjoyed it 2 years ago when I rode it, but I can very well see it makes sense that Cedar Fair, if they work out their kinks with RMC, call them up and make them turn this bad boy wooden coaster into the best coaster in the park, especially because Worlds of Fun does not need 3 wooden coasters. With Zambezi Zinger as well as Prowler, those are the 2 top tier coasters there as far as the wooden coasters go. Timberwolf, you might as well call up RMC or maybe even GCI and have them converted to a hybrid coaster. And finally, heading up to Canada's Wonderland for Wild Beast. Now, this ride could definitely use RMC's love because honestly, it's not that great, and we all know what RMC could do with a ride like this. So as far as my predictions go regarding the future of RMC and the niche that they've created with converting these older wooden coasters into hybrid coasters, there's still, as you can see, a lot of wooden coasters that could easily get converted to an RMC hybrid coaster. And I didn't even bring up Bandit at Movie Park in Germany. Bandit is a horrible wooden coaster, and for the love of God, please just put it out of its misery, call up RMC and call it a day. But it is weird how we have not seen any ground-up RMC hybrids or wooden coasters getting turned into a hybrid coaster as of late. But again, I really feel like over the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to start to see more of this because they are more affordable. They create great rides. Something just has me curious as to, is it more RMC's fault as far as what's going on when it comes to why haven't we seen 2 or 3 new RMC coasters being added every single year the last couple years? It does make you wonder. So what are your thoughts regarding this? Are you concerned? And is there any other wooden coaster out there that I did not mention that you think could become a great RMC hybrid candidate? And if you're interested in learning about my favorite RMC coasters that I've been on 15 of them by now. This video right here is just for you. So spoiler alert, this top 15 might kind of rub people the wrong way. It is a little bit shocking, I might have to say. With all that being said, hope everyone's doing well. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and of course, keep riding coasters.